Yo, what's up guys, Zach Diddy, back with another Dcuo video. Today we are going to be looking at the water healer loadout. Now, this loadout basically just uses every single, I believe it's every single healing power that water has. So it's not really hard to decide what your loadout's going to be. But we're just going to go over it anyway. Some people may be using different things, but I think this is probably the best way to do it. So first, let's go ahead and check out the loadout. You're always going to want high tide. You're going to want high tide for every type of loadout. It doesn't matter because high tide, once you use it and then use another power, a lot of powers have better effects if high tide is activated. For example, we're going straight next to Soothing Mist. It says in the power interactions on the bottom, if you are in high tide, Soothing Mist's healing is increased. This effect removes high tide. So if you use high tide and then use Soothing Mist, the healing is increased, and then the description of the power is cover yourself and your least healthy group member with soothing water, healing them. So that's really good for the least healthy group member. So yeah, and then we have bubble. As you can see in healer roll, it says shield. Surround yourself with a protective bubble that prevents incoming damage. And then healer roll also surrounds up to 3 group members with a bubble that prevents incoming damage. That's good for the 3 group members. Then we have Tempest guard, which is a little bit of a, or should I say a lot bit of a stronger, more advanced shield. This one also has an effect with high tide. We're going to get to that right now. First it says summon a shield made of water to guard you from some incoming damage. If you are in high tide, like we said before, Tempest Guard grants a heal when this shield ends. This effect removes high tide. So as this shield ends, or after it ends, extra heal just comes out of nowhere. And the healer roll also guards up to 7 group members with a shield that prevents some incoming damage, which is very, very effective. That's very a good thing about this power. Then we have Mending Wave, which also has an effect with high tide. First it says cause a rejuvenating rush of water to wash over you and 3 injured group members, healing them. So that's cool, and it has it probably looks really cool as well. The power interactions, if you're on high tide, like we said, Mending Wave will critically heal, so you get a crit with heal, so much more healing, which is really good. And then we have Solace of the Sea. This is just simple. Create pool of healing water and aquatic life that heals you and your allies over time. This power just simple, general, and also it's just one of the coolest looking powers in the game. I'll show you guys after. But also I want to explain one thing. High tide, as you can see, the things that have effect with it in this loadout are Soothing Mist, Tempest Guard, and Mending Wave. But every time, say I use high tide and then I use Soothing Mist, high tide is no longer active. So you can't use high tide and then use Soothing Mist and then expect also to use Tempest Guard and Mending Wave and expect the effect to happen. It'll only happen with one power until high tide comes back again. So you would probably want to use high tide, Soothing Mist, wait for high tide to come back, high tide, Tempest Guard, wait for high tide to come back, use high tide, and then Mending Wave. So in that time that you're waiting, you'd want to use the powers that don't have effects with high tide, like bubble and Solace of the Sea. So that's what you would want to do. So it would look like this. You'd basically use high tide, use one of your use Soothing Mist because it has an effect at high tide. As you're waiting for high tide to come back, because it does take kind of long, you would want to use like this shield and Solace of the Sea and just keep waiting for it to come back, or you could just keep popping the healing powers. It doesn't really matter. And this is Solace of the Sea. I was talking about how it looks really cool. Yeah. Anyway, let's just go through what every power looks like once everything comes back. Alright, here we go. Okay, so if you were just to use it, we're just going to use look at how everything looks. High tide, Soothing Mist, bubble, Tempest Guard, and now we have no power. But anyway, you guys get it. The really cool thing about bubble and Tempest Guard is that you can use it at the same time and it looks like that. And it makes a really cool noise to a bubble. When bubble pops, it makes a really cool noise. I'm gonna do it again and not talk so you guys can hear. It's actually a very satisfying sound. So let's do it again. Okay, we're gonna wait for it to go. And there it is. It was taking really long there. I was like getting kind of worried. But yeah, if you guys want, just a suggestion, something really good to put in this loadout. If you want to take one thing out, I'd probably suggest, I'm not really sure, maybe Solace of the Sea, because it's not really healing. It's not very, especially for healing. It's just a general power. But instead of using Solace of the Sea, you can use, let me see, which one is it? Yeah, Riptide. So what Riptide does, let's read it actually. It's actually insane. Let's do that again. Riptide, where'd it go? Here we go. Okay, Riptide says, summon a powerful current of water that removes the cooldown of the previous water superpower used, which is really good. Basically, if you use something, actually, I'm not sure if that would work with this loadout. Basically, here's what Riptide does. I'll show you guys right now. As you can see, High Tide takes pretty long. Now, as soon as I use Riptide, the one all the way on the R2 triangle, High Tide comes right back. So you could also use that if you want High Tide to come back quickly for this loadout. But yeah, other than that, if you don't want to go all that far, just do what I said and use what I said. Use the advice I said with the Solace of the Sea. It's much easier. It's much cooler looking power. I mean, in my opinion, like I said before, it's the coolest looking. It has like these weird, like, looks like ghost jellyfish just floating in the air and then just like evaporating. It's really cool. But anyway, yeah, that's really it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you liked the loadout. If you did, please make sure to leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. And also leave a comment in the comment section below if you guys have a better idea for a healer loadout. And that's really it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.